Welcome to the Arcane Ledger, your gateway to forgotten myths, legendary battles, and ancient wisdom. Discover the untold stories of gods, demons, and kings. Subscribe now and unlock the past. Today, we uncover the rise of Ravana, the legendary king of Lanka, a master of the Vedas, a fearless conqueror, and a devoted follower of Lord Shiva. His charisma shaped empires, his power challenged the gods, but was he a ruthless tyrant or a misunderstood genius? Born into a lineage of both sages and demons, Ravana was no ordinary child. His father, Sage Vishrava, was a learned scholar of the Vedas, and his mother, Kaikeshi, a Rakshasa princess. This dual heritage gifted him unparalleled intelligence, but also an insatiable thirst for power. From the moment he took his first breath, destiny had already begun shaping him into the most feared and revered ruler of his time. As a child, Ravana was raised in his father's ashram, where he mastered the Vedas, Shastras, and sacred rituals. But while his brothers followed the peaceful path of wisdom, Ravana's ambitions burned brighter. He saw weakness in mere scholarship. He wished to rule. Despite his remarkable intelligence, Ravana's early life was far from easy. It is said that he was once mocked by his own father for being overly ambitious and wanting to conquer the heavens. But Ravana's mind was already too far ahead of his time. His father's disapproval did not stop him. But his thirst for power led to conflict with his father. Vishrava, a saintly man, warned Ravana of the dangers of unchecked ambition. Yet Ravana refused to live a life of quiet knowledge. He craved something greater. One night, buying his father's wishes, Ravana left the ashram, determined to forge his own destiny. But knowledge alone was not enough. Ravana knew that true power lay in divine blessings. And so, he embarked on a journey of intense tapasya, austerities, traveling to the Himalayas. Ravana's penance was so intense that he offered his own heads to Lord Shiva as a sacrifice one by one. As each head was severed, Ravana's strength and intelligence grew. After the final head was severed, Lord Shiva, moved by his perseverance, restored Ravana's heads and granted him immense powers. His final boon: Ravana would be invincible to all gods, demons, and celestial beings. With each head he sacrificed, Ravana's wisdom and might grew. Lord Shiva, impressed by his resilience, granted him a boon. He would not be defeated by gods, demons, or celestial beings. With this newfound immortality, Ravana's next goal was clear: to build an empire unlike any the world had ever seen. But what was a king without a kingdom? Ravana had the power, but he needed a throne. His eyes fell upon Lanka, a land of unimaginable wealth, originally ruled by his half-brother, Kubera, the god of riches. Lanka, as described in ancient texts, was not just a city, but an advanced civilization, built by Vishwakarma, the celestial architect. It was a city of gold, with flying chariots, enchanted gardens, and roads paved with jewels. Kubera's wealth was immeasurable, but Ravana wanted more than wealth. He desired absolute control. Ravana, feeling entitled to the kingdom, challenged Kubera to a battle. With his new divine strength, he defeated the god of wealth and took Lanka for himself. But unlike many conquerors, he did not plunder it. He made it flourish. Under his rule, Lanka became the envy of the gods. Now, as the undisputed ruler of Lanka, Ravana turned his attention to something greater, expanding his empire and amassing wisdom. He did not just rule through fear. He was a scholar, a musician, a master of Ayurveda, and an architect of one of the world's greatest civilizations. Ravana was not just a warrior. He was a great Veena player and composed one of the most powerful hymns ever written, the Shiva Tandava Stotram. Even today, its verses are chanted by devotees worldwide. His intellect and devotion to Lord Shiva were as legendary as his conquests. His reign was one of prosperity, but also of unmatched ambition. He expanded his influence far beyond Lanka, conquering lands and even challenging the gods themselves. But his greatest challenge would come from a figure he could not anticipate. Ravana's ambition knew no bounds, but it was this very ambition that led him to make a grave mistake. One fateful day, while Ravana was visiting the celestial realms, he laid eyes on the beautiful Sita, the wife of Prince Rama, a warrior of unparalleled valor and honor. Sita, the epitome of purity and devotion, was so enchanting that Ravana attempted to seduce her with his charms, but when she rejected him, he became consumed by desire and vengeance. Unable to bear the rejection, Ravana abducted Sita and took her to Lanka, believing that this would be his ultimate triumph over the gods. The abduction of Sita set the stage for a monumental war. It sparked a chain of events that would lead Ravana to face Lord Rama, the Prince of Ayodhya, in a battle not just for Sita, but for the future of the world itself. The war that followed was one of unimaginable proportions. Rama, aided by his brother Lakshmana, Hanuman, and an army of monkeys, marched to Lanka with a singular purpose: to rescue Sita and defeat Ravana. Ravana, with his 10 heads and 20 arms, was nearly invincible. But even the mightiest of warriors can fall when blinded by arrogance. Despite his vast strength and knowledge, he underestimated Rama's righteousness and devotion. The battle was fierce, with Ravana ultimately succumbing to his own hubris. In the end, Ravana was slain by Lord Rama, who used his divine arrow to pierce Ravana's heart. But even in his death, Ravana's legacy endured. He had lived and died by his ambition, leaving behind a kingdom that would never be forgotten. History remembers Ravana as a demon, but was he truly evil? Or was he simply a man who defied the gods, challenging fate itself? Even today, in parts of India and Sri Lanka, he is worshipped as a symbol of knowledge, power, and devotion. Perhaps Ravana was not just a villain, but a tragic hero whose brilliance and arrogance shaped the course of history forever. What do you think? Was Ravana a tyrant, or was he a misunderstood genius? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to the Arcane Ledger for more untold stories from mythology, folklore, and ancient wisdom.